Welcome to Forensic Friday.
Where we examine the intersection of true crime, psychology, and the heart of being human in the middle of it all.
Here we are. I'm finally doing a case.
Yes! It's been, I don't know how many weeks. It's been a while. It's been a
In
while.
a minute.
Yes.
I'm just riding on your energy.
You know what? That's fair. Also, I crashed in epic fashion. So Nat got a little sick after CrimeCon like everyone else did.
Right.
I just switched into manic mode, which is not a good look for me. And so then I, decided to try to die Thursday and Friday with some kind of epic stomach bug. But we now have a new listener from Rocky Mountain IV Clinic named Curtis, and he's delightful and an RN, and he brought your girl back to life. And so,
Curtis, thank you.
Curtis, thank you. And Nat, in fairness to you, you've been working on one of the biggest cases ever, and so we can buy you a minute.
I appreciate that. It's
Absolutely.
a lot.
There's a lot. And we're really bringing our expertise to this one. So Nat did the deep dive, which we all love because you're really great at that. And then we're going to have some pretty intense clinical discussion too of like, what the hell's going on with this guy?
Yes, and this is a two-parter.
Yeah, this is going to be a two-parter, but we promise you don't want to miss either part.
No, stay tuned for all of it.
All of it.
So, the case that I've brought to us today is Mr. Christopher Watts.
Ugh. That's my intro. Oh.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, he's really not my favorite human, but Nat'll do him justice in terms of looking at all the pieces. The look on your face.
Yeah,
You're
I
like,
know. Justice.
justice.
Is that what I'm gonna do?
But I mean
We'll
by do him justice means accurately reflect the overwhelming darkness that is this situation.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Very, very dark. All right. And we're a little over a year from this case. Not a year. That's stupid. We are a little over. We are a little over the anniversary of this case.
Yes.
So we're not too far off of that.
Yes.
It's happened many years ago, not a year ago.
Many years ago. Oh, and there's some twisty Christianity pieces in this one too.
Oh.
To get weird. There's lots of stuff.
It's all weird.
I just remember that.
Okay. So in the early morning of August 13th, 2018, Mr. Christopher Watts made a decision that impacted not only himself and his family, but also an entire community and state, to be honest.
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
in Colorado was on the edge of their seats with him.
Yes.
Most of us know this case as it was big news for a long time. And a lot of people remember the eerie way he talked on the news about wanting his family back. I don't know if you remember that.
I do. So this was when I was just starting to really get going with the PCLR. And I was talking with a former coworker about this dude and how he was showing up in the media.
Yes.
It was very weird.
Super weird. Yes, super weird. He was saying things with a smirk on his face. Very eerie, very weird way to say things. It was just weird.
He was saying tender things about his family and wanting them home with an affect that didn't really match the things that he was saying.
Yeah, but even the tender things he was saying, it wasn't like, I mean, maybe because the affect didn't match, but I mean, it was just I just want them home. If you have them, let them go.
It struck people as weird. And the cop, what do they call it? Body cam footage came out pretty early, which was also super interesting. I know you'll get into that, but all of that together painted a weird picture.
Yes, super weird. Let's start with some background, shall we?
I love background.
Chris was from a small town, or is, not was, he's still very much alive. He is from a small town called Spring Lake in North Carolina. and Shanann was born in Aberdeen, North Carolina. They met in 2010, got married in 2012, so they dated for a couple of years-ish. The couple relocated to Frederick, Colorado, where they had their two daughters, Bella, who was born in 2013, and Celeste, who was born in 2015.
Mm.
Shanann was pregnant with their son, Nico. I believe he was due in 2018.
Yeah.
So Shanann worked from home for a company called Thrive. It is what we know as a MLM, multi-level marketing
Pyramid
business.
scheme.
I'm trying not to have a negative note on her, but
I hear that.
it is a pyramid scheme.
But the negative note really is more for the company.
What?
It's like she was a part of it, but the ownership is on a company for being a pyramid scheme.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So she did that, but she was actually pretty successful at it. Like
Yeah.
the end of her life, she was up there with like a regular, mid to high end job.
Yeah, I think she made pretty good money with some perks too.
Yeah. Yeah. She went on trips and all the things. And then Chris worked, I can't even say the name of the company, but it was for a petroleum company.
Yeah, he
So
worked in
he
oil
worked
and
for
gas.
a patrol. Yeah. And worked in the field. So he wasn't necessarily an office guy. He worked in the field.
Okay.
They purchased their house in Frederick in 2013, but later filed for bankruptcy in 2015.
Hmm.
Also, some history with family dynamics that were pretty known in the media too, so I won't go into like depths on these, but her family loved Chris.
Hmm.
His family did not love Shanann,
Okay.
specifically his mom and sister,
What
but
was
really
their
his
what
mom.
was their beef with her?
I think because they just thought she was really bossy. And she was. I mean, I don't know if she was mean, but she says like she like basically wore the pants in their marriage.
She was large and in charge.
Yes, very vocal, which I believe are similar to his mom and sister.
Hmm.
And I think dad was super chill because dad, I can't remember if dad went to their wedding, but I mean, his mom did not go to their wedding.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-mm. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. So mom did not go to the wedding because she did not like Shanann.
Hmm.
And I can't remember if his dad did or not.
Okay.
So knowing what we know now, okay, so moved from hometowns in Frederick, Colorado. I don't believe they had family here. They did make some friends, which I'll get into. They had some community here. Financial issues. What do you know about how all of that can impact a relationship?
Well, I mean, I know that I mean, you have a couple of the biggest stressors happening here. So you have some in-law tension. It's pretty bad when someone won't come to
Yep.
a wedding. That's usually pretty painful.
Yeah.
Bankruptcy, I mean, that's a
Yep.
top 10 stressor, you know. And also I
Hmm.
think just having one person who's kind of running things in a relationship, like we laugh on here. We were actually literally just laughing about this about before we hopped on to record. I'm in a marriage where my husband is so good to me and listens and he's so kind and he's just not difficult for no reason. And I am very assertive. Always have a plan. I'm confident. I have a confident mom, right? But my husband is
Hmm.
involved in decisions we make. And I was just joking with Nat that, the crap he gives me now compared to when we were first together, and she was laughing because she knows us. I've always very much respected his opinion and we've always made decisions together. But I think sometimes in relationships, when one person is quote unquote bossy to an extent that it upsets the in-laws, then you're looking at maybe they were seeing some things that were potentially really hard for their son. Like
Hmm.
maybe he really didn't have a
Hmm.
say in much, you know? Which is
Right.
hard on
Yep.
anyone. There's no one who actually enjoys being
Yep.
bossed around. I'm sorry.
No. Well, and and we'll get more into Chris. here in a little bit, but he seemed to not mind it until he did.
And then bam,
And then it went real bad for
robot.
everybody. So, sorry, I say that in a joking manner. It was really bad.
No, it was terrible.
Um, yeah. So, Chris then met Miss Nicole Kessinger at work in 2018. She was contracted with his company and was placed at their home office where he was.
I
I
hate to see it.
hate to see it. That's where most affairs happen is at work. Did I ever tell you the time we went to Tacos Tequila Whiskey with my dad? They have the best tacos. I love that
Oh,
place.
yeah.
So we went to Tacos Tequila Whiskey and this girl, it's literally the three of us, Preston, my dad, and I.
Oh my
And
gosh.
this girl sends our server over to
Yes.
see if he's single to buy him a drink. And I was like, well, go tell her to buy him too and that he's single.
Yeah, absolutely. Be like,
Yeah,
I'm here
get him
offering.
two drinks because then I get one.
So nice.
Fine.
Absolutely.
But no, the server said, I'm gonna tell her that he's clearly married. So they met as Chris would meet his crew at the office. And then he would take his crew out to the oil tanks. But he met her when like in the morning one time because he would meet his crew there.
And didn't he got a better job too, like a promotion where he was at the office more too, around this time.
Yeah, well, so he managed a crew, but he would still go out into the field to manage the crew.
That's right.
Yes, but he would meet them at the office
Yeah.
and then they would game plan or whatever and then go.
Yeah.
So their relationship grew very fast.
Hmm.
In July, Shanann took the girls to visit her family and Chris stayed back.
For work.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea why he
Okay, but
stayed
he
back.
doesn't go on the trip.
But yeah, probably because they went for maybe it was late June. I can't remember exact month, but obviously before she died, but it was like right before she died.
Oh yeah, it was a month before she died. It was like the 4th of July. They started to be a little more like
Funky.
acting coupley
Hmm.
a little bit, and they'd gone to a couple things together.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
then the trip happened, and then I think that was the
Yeah.
first time they had sex and
Because
hung out like that.
Shanann was there for like more than a week. She was there
Yeah.
for like 3 weeks or something.
Yes.
So that's why he didn't go because, yeah, there was probably a work
Yeah.
con. He couldn't take that much time off. So their relationship grew fast. Shanann took this trip to see her family. Chris stayed back. So she told a friend of hers that Chris was acting different and she knew he was seeing someone else or she like had a sense that she was seeing someone else because they were not sleeping. Her and Chris were not having sex. They weren't sleeping together.
Do you know how long they hadn't been sleeping together? Well, they got pregnant. She was 15 weeks pregnant and they got pregnant, but he said they got pregnant fast. He
They
and
got,
Shanann.
yes, yes. Historically, I think she just got pregnant relatively easily.
Well, he said the first two were hard.
Oh,
It took a long time to get pregnant. And so he was shocked when they got pregnant the third time
oh, okay.
so quick. But they were
Yeah.
at least having sex before, 'cause soon enough that she was pregnant. It's not like they hadn't
Well,
had sex in years.
no, but he wasn't seeing what's her face, Nicole, when she got pregnant.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So
That's
this was like, and you've said even before, when people are having an affair, usually somewhat like the person having the affair isn't overly excited to sleep with their partner.
yes.
That it's not super
Yes.
common that you see that person sleeping regularly with both people.
Mm-mm.
So he stopped really having
Yeah.
sex with Shanann because he was sleeping with Nicole.
Yes.
There was a lot of text messages with her and her friends about how he was acting. He was also low-key gaslighting her because he would tell her how much he loved her and how much he missed them when they were out of town, but then would never answer his phone or FaceTime because he was with Nicole.
Uh-huh.
Right? And he'd be like, nothing's wrong. I'm just work stress, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I mean, you could call it just flat out lying, but I'm like, she's probably feels crazy because she knows you're acting different.
Well, and this is a smart woman. She's a smart
Mm-hmm.
woman, Shanann.
Yeah.
And she knew something was up. I don't know that she knew everything, but she knew something was up.
Right. So then Shanann goes on a business trip to Arizona and arrives home on August 13th, 2018. She was dropped off by a friend named Nikki that day because she was dropped off at like 1:32 a.m. So that day she had an OB appointment that she never made it to.
Oh, I didn't know that. I missed that part.
Yep. So she had an OB appointment that Nikki knew about. So Nikki had asked her, was like via text, how it went. And Shanann never texted her back.
Hmm.
Yep. So they thought that was weird because they were like, she's connected, like totally on her phone all the time.
Yes.
Nikki then goes to the house. This is who called in the welfare check.
This is the best friend.
Yes.
Oh, she's amazing. I
Yes.
love her.
So she goes in, or sorry, she calls in, she goes to the house, sorry, and can't, no one's answering the door, but she sees, I believe she saw that Shanann's purse was in there and her shoes. And so she was worried because Shanann had some significant health problems. So she had lupus, so she was really worried. The police get there. They obviously can't bust the door down because there's no evidence of her being harmed in the home. Like
Right.
they don't see her body laying
And it
anywhere.
hadn't been super long. I mean, Nikki was just on it as a friend.
She just knew something was weird.
Yes.
Her friend wasn't acting the same, not responding, didn't go to her appointment.
Yep.
So the police show up. They can't bust in the door down, like I said, because there's no evidence of anything. So they are like, let's call and see if, they'll let us in or whatever. So Nikki actually calls Shanann's parents. They give her the garage code, but the police are like, we literally cannot enter the home without permission from the homeowners. So then they call Chris. Chris is like, I'll be home in 5 minutes. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Why do you think that's kind of weird?
Well, first of all, who's 5 minutes?
Well, but they call Chris and they say, hey, we're worried that Shanann's hurt inside your home. Like something's wrong.
Yeah.
Can we can we go in? And he
Oh,
just
yeah.
basically
No, he wanted them to wait for him. That's incredibly weird. Because if somebody called my husband or your husband and said that, they'd be like, my God,
bust,
take the door down. I'll replace
bust the
it
door down.
later. Yeah, go get her.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. No, I wouldn't be like, wait a minute, I'll let you in 5 minutes. Weird.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Mm-hmm.
weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen the body cam. He's cool as a cucumber.
Oh, it's so bizarre.
And the friend, can we just talk I just for 2 seconds have to
Yeah.
honor Nikki.
Yeah.
If ever there's been someone in a case that I feel like kindred with, one of them is Nikki. Because on the body cam footage, she's literally the one who you would expect the husband to act like, right? She's going, we have to find her. She would not leave her stuff here. She would not leave her children. She wouldn't miss her appointment. She starts bossing even Chris a little. She's like, well, what are you? And you can see as she's starting to sort of question him a little bit because she's so much more outwardly concerned and affected by this. It's
Mm-hmm.
very interesting to watch that, but she loves her friend.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
thank God for her because she got in there and just was expediting things. We'll put it that way.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, she was on it.
She was on it.
So, yeah, you're correct. All of it's super weird. Our husbands would say, bust the door down if something's wrong, get in there, especially with two kids.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
what's happening?
Yes.
He gets home and is acting super weird, like you said, cool as a cucumber. Her purse was left there, her phone, her shoes, everything. Also, the girls' blankets were gone, and Chris said they don't go anywhere without their blankets. So they were gone. So that he's like trying to paint this picture that they left already.
Except for her phone, wallet.
He drives me crazy. He
Mm.
also was texting her, first text at 7:40 saying, if you take the kids somewhere, please let me know where they're at. This is after everything happened. Oh my God. Then again at 12 saying, can you call me, please? Then again, I'm on my way home. Please be there.
Okay.
Then walks.
They never said he was a smart man.
No, he's like texting her like as if to try, obviously to cover his tracks.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a dingbat.
Yeah, he's really not the smartest, which we'll get into.
No.
He then walks out of his bedroom with her wedding ring on his finger, insinuating that she left him with the kids. And he's like looking at it. No, well, we'll post this part of the video maybe.
Yep.
He's looking at it like,
I don't know.
oh, she left her wedding ring.
A lost little puppy.
My gosh.
And the friend's like, are you gonna kill him or should I? Like you're gonna get in there, right? Like she's looking at the cops, literally like, what are we waiting for?
Yeah, like, this is weird.
Yeah, throw him in the car. You know?
Hmm. Then they went to their neighbors, and this is where it gets even more weird.
Yes.
They go to their neighbor's house and look at the neighbor's cameras. Also, Chris knows that he has cameras.
Yes.
He literally could not stop shifting his weight. I don't know if you saw that part.
Yes.
He's like just going back and forth,
Yes.
taking these deep breaths, like looks super anxious for someone who's not like that.
Well, and for someone who should have absolutely nothing to worry about.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The neighbor pulls up the footage and Chris pulls his truck into the garage around like 5 something in the morning.
Yep.
Chris looked like he looked like he was gonna poop his pants.
He really did. And also you can see everyone in the room looking at each other like, oh shit. You know, the neighbor's like, were you leaving at 5? What?
Oh yeah. He looks like he's gonna poop his pants
Yes.
as they watch the neighbor's camera because he's probably like, hope he doesn't have anything on me, you know.
Oh yeah, totally.
He was breathing super heavy. He was just a mess. You could like see that he was sweating.
Yes.
They looked at the footage and then it shifted, like the screen shifted. And the weirdest thing, he like turned his TV onto something else, and the initial picture was a baby in the womb.
Yes.
And then Chris looks at the cops and he goes, she's also like 14 or 15 weeks pregnant.
I do remember that.
I'm like, what a weird series of events.
Yes.
Also, why is a baby in the womb on the TV?
No, it was weird.
Super weird. Just all of it was weird. Weird timing.
Yes.
A little bit of like a divine intervention,
Oh, I think so.
if you will.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
The neighbor then starts talking and he says he does not usually carry out a lot of stuff to his truck. It's not like Chris has like a lot of heavy tools that he uses.
It's not like every
Okay?
morning he goes and loads up.
No.
Right.
He also stated that he does not pull into the garage usually, and also that Chris, again, knew he had cameras. The neighbor was expressing a ton of suspicion.
Oh, the neighbor's like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? The neighbor, wasn't he also huge? I just remember seeing the neighbor being like, he could go like this to Chris, like the giant.
Oh yeah, no, he was pretty big. But the
Yeah.
weird thing is so he also gave a statement, and it doesn't show this in the documentary, but he gave a statement that then was retracted because it wasn't fully true. But he said something around they would always fight, they would get
He
into
heard them fighting. Yeah.
screaming
And then
fight, but
recanted.
they recanted it because it's not really true because Chris didn't really fight. That's the thing.
Right.
And he didn't. I mean,
So they
that's like what
probably heard
everyone.
Shanann. Did they just hear more Shanann yelling, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah. So then the cops go around and ask the neighbors about everything, if they've seen them. Yeah, Chris called, oh my gosh, called all of Shanann's friends to see where she was.
Uh-huh. In front of the cops and the
He,
the one friend. Yeah,
yeah,
he's like making phone calls. Yeah.
yeah. He then says to the officer, I don't know what to do right now if they aren't. Oh, this is when it was on the TV.
Yes, yes, yes.
Weird face with the statements he was making. So he said, I do not know what to do right now if they aren't okay. That is what's tearing me apart. The police then began to get more information and started a criminal investigation at that point because they're like, this is not adding up, right? What was really, sorry, I'm reading my notes. I'm like, what did I write? This is
Oh,
crazy.
I know.
So what was even, in my opinion, like sicker of Chris is so they're asking him, I believe on the phone at this point, I don't think this was in his interview, about his children's like structures, right? Like they're like, what do they look like? Whatever. So he says he describes his kids' height, weight, facial features, everything.
Mm.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you psycho. Anyway,
Yeah. Again, with like no emotion, right? Just like blank.
well, not blank, but just more of like it's it's almost too similar to I feel like how you would hear someone who genuinely was missing their kids and didn't know where they were. Like he wasn't overly worried, but the way he was describing it, he was like very factual. Like this is their height, this is their weight, this
If
is what
somebody
they
saw
look
them,
like.
this is what they were wearing. This is what,
Yes,
yes.
there's no scars.
When he
Shanann,
knows exactly where they are.
exactly. That's why
Oh,
it's so gross. Same thing with Shanann. They ask him about her. He tells them about scars she has, whatever. I cannot imagine doing that, knowing very well what happened, right?
mm,
That's insane to me. The police then went around to their neighbors asking more if they've seen the girls or Shanann. They did a criminal sweep of the house, and what's really interesting is the head of whoever did that, the person who went in there first, said this house is way too clean,
mm,
way too particular for especially for them having a fight the night before,
that's right.
right? And having two kids. Everything was put away. Every bit was put away. It was wiped down. It was like spick and span clean.
And you're going to share about what the fight was about, right?
Well, yeah.
Oh, good. I can't wait. I'm
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah. One of the cameramen asked, do you think she took off? Okay. This was more in the interview. Chris said, I don't even want to throw anything out there. I hope that she is somewhere safe right now and with the kids. Like, F off, bro.
you're doing too
Good.
much. Isn't that what the kids say? You're doing too much.
I know. So, yeah, the part, I hope that she's somewhere safe right now with the kids. Okay. Could she have taken off? I don't know. But if someone has her and they're not safe, I want them back now. And he just says that with the weirdest face.
Hmm.
Okay. Then the cameraman says, this might be a tough question, but did you guys get into an argument before she left? Chris said, it was not an argument. It was an emotional conversation, but I will leave it at that. But I just want them back. And his smile was bigger. And then he kind of chuckles at the end. I'm like, and this is what everyone saw. So all of this, like, I remember when this was happening, all of this was live. So
Yes.
people were looking at him like, what is happening? And then, people on the news or like people like Nancy Grace, I mean, she was on his ass like white on rice, but
Oh, yeah.
some people
Nancy
were
Grace
saying,
was
well,
like,
people grieve differently.
well, and we talked about it at work a lot because it's
Uh-huh.
local and you're
Hmm.
thinking DV immediately, which is
Yeah.
not uncommon, right? So this was quite the topic at work. I remember this.
Yeah.
And we were working at the same place back then too, but we were talking about this. I remember talking about this with coworkers going, this just really feels like DV. All of her stuff's in the house. There's no evidence that somebody broke in, but he was acting so different. I mean,
So
and we
different.
talk to domestic violence offenders all day, every day. This was very
Yep.
weird, very different.
Yep. Yes. So, yeah, exactly. It was very different. And I mean, I remember when it was live, and again, people were like, maybe he's grieving differently, whatever. But a lot of the crime professionals, like Nancy Grace and some of the other ones, were like, oh, heck no, something's up with this dude.
Well,
So,
because
and
somebody
I
could have
remember
had him.
thinking, like, right. When I remember thinking, and it was in 2018, so I was working in forensics at that point.
Mhm.
I remember wanting to give him benefit of the doubt because it was so horrific in my brain
I remember
of
you and I having that conversation.
of the potential of what happened. And I was like, man, I can't imagine. Like, I know DV most of the time, the parent,
Yes.
suicide, you don't often hear about kids. It
No.
happens, obviously. There's been cases that we've covered that's happened. We've known of cases, thankfully, nothing under our roof where we used to work, but under other places' roofs where they worked. stuff like this happened, but it's not as common. And so for me, I was like, I don't know, man. Like maybe she just pieced out. Who knows?
Yeah.
I wanted to believe that. I also thought he was acting super weird. And I was like, if you're innocent, bro, like you're not helping yourself.
Mm-mm. No,
And
no.
so really quickly, the fight was about him cheating. She came home. This is really interesting. So she came home. They had sex. So like at like 2 in the morning,
Mm-mm.
they had sex. Then like later that morning, probably, I don't know what time around, probably like 4, because he's loading her up at like 5 something.
Mm-hmm.
They get into it and he says, this isn't working. And essentially is like, I want to leave. So she gets all pissed off and she's like, I knew it. There's another woman. You've been cheating. You're never going to see your kids. So she starts threatening that. And here's the thing again, Shanann is a lot spicier than Chris.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to fight mode, she's gonna fight,
Yeah.
right? Not not blaming her at all. I'm not blaming her for what happened.
No.
It's just the reality. She already had this in her head that this was happening. She was not wrong.
Uh-uh.
And now she's taken him to the grave, for lack of better words, when it comes to custody and money and all of that. So she starts going in on all that.
Well, and I think too, I mean, we have to say at least, this is according to him. All of this is no one else was there, right? This is all according
Correct.
to him. But I agree with you, Nat, that the what he shared is certainly plausible to me in the sense that she was a little more assertive. If she had found something like this out, this wasn't out of character for her
Mm-mm.
to be like, okay, fine, you'll never see your kids again. Screw you.
Knew someone who was involved in this case.
Oh my God. Okay.
So I met this woman
Okay.
who was their neighbor and friends
Okay.
with them, and
Okay.
she let her and her husband and their 2 daughters
Oh shit.
let Chris stay at their house when it was not a murder case yet.
When she was missing, but he couldn't stay there because it was a potential crime scene.
Correct.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
So when I talked to this individual, she said, it's hard to say, she said, but Shanann would often yell. She was the one who would get really spicy.
Mm-hmm.
People could hear her getting mad. People rarely ever heard him get mad.
Mm-hmm.
And so, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
I do believe this part of his story.
Yeah.
I do. I
Yeah.
think he said we need to separate. I do believe that in some way, shape, or form it came out that he was seeing someone. And I do believe that she then got real big and was, rightfully so. I mean, she's pissed and hurt, right?
Yes.
Somehow he's on top of her. Okay, I don't know how that happened. I was trying to find in the few interviews I watched how that happened, but he never really describes why he was on top of her
Well,
when they were fighting.
what he said in the interview that you had me watch, which was 2 hours of my
Yeah.
life of his prison interview,
Oh,
which
I know.
is fascinating. But what
No,
he
it is. Yeah.
and I wrote this down. I just got to find it really fast because I thought that was really interesting too. He said, um, do do do. I literally wrote that down because I thought it was so intense how he got on top of her. Okay, what he said that he got on top of her and it wasn't like a sexual thing. At one point they were
Mm,
fighting and at one point
mm-hmm.
she was uncomfortable with where he was sitting on her because she was, pregnant and he was straddling her midsection, sitting on her and putting all of his weight on her and holding her down.
Yep.
And
Yes. But I just don't know how that happened, how they got to that
it
point.
was part of the fight. And so
Okay.
what he said was he couldn't say exactly why, but it might have been because he was taking control for her to listen. And he said she might have
Wow.
listened if I'd just been laying next to her talking, but for some reason I
Yes.
got on top of her. But
Well, and
then he
he
said,
also
and I
said,
think I might have, did I have this plan in my head? I think I might have already known
no,
what I
yeah.
was going to do.
Well,
Yeah.
he said he did. He said, I think I knew what I
Mhm.
was going to already do, kind of
Yeah.
without knowing what I was going to do,
Yeah.
which is so weird.
So weird.
So, yeah, so he's on top of her, they're fighting, and then unfortunately, he ends her life by strangulation.
Mm,
So that was the fight. That was what the fight was about.
mm.
Bef so that's obvious. And here's the thing, everyone knows about the case. And if you don't, I'm sorry, spoiler alert, that's what happened. Okay.
Yes.
However, we're going to go back to pre-knowing that that's what happened.
Yes.
He then gets interrogated. I spelled interrogated totally wrong. I was like reading it and
This
I
is
was
why we're
like,
podcasters. Nobody can see how we spell things.
no, I know, but I almost didn't know what I was saying. I had to read ahead.
You're like, I don't know what that word is anymore.
What was I trying to say?
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, and then I was like, oh yeah, I got it. So he goes and gets interrogated, okay, the first time. And this is when Miss Tammy comes into the picture and you
Tammy,
got
superstar interviewer.
hmm
And then I was thrilled that the interview you sent me from prison is also Tammy again, that it was
Oh,
this
I know.
guy and
Yes.
everybody. I'm so thankful because I didn't know what you were sending me. I thought maybe it was like I knew it was law
Oh no, it was
enforcement,
2 hours.
but she went back in there and again was amazing.
Oh yeah.
She's
Her and
amazing.
the other detective. It was the same people.
No, they were amazing, but
Same
Tammy
detective.
has a really, as a forensic evaluator,
hmm
way that she goes about it,
No, it's
I
wild.
love. And she doesn't butter up either. She's kind and she is direct, which is how you're supposed to be, but
Yeah.
she doesn't like overcompensate like some people do.
Yeah.
She's just excellent.
Yeah. She was funny when she did the lie detector. She was like,
Yeah.
one of us knows the truth in here, and pretty soon there's gonna be two of us who knows the truth. Isn't that so cool?
No, I just love her so much.
Like, damn, girl. Didn't work. So we're hopefully maybe gonna interview her at some point just about her job because her job's super interesting too.
And how she interviews people because it's incredible.
Yes. So we'll see if something like that can work out in the future. But anyway, Tammy was amazing. He gets interrogated. And what's also interesting, and I don't remember the other detective's name.
Yeah.
The other detective sat between Chris and the door, which is a technique
Yes.
of basically letting Chris know, like subconsciously, the only way out of here is through me.
Yeah. You're not leaving until we get
Yeah.
what we want.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then what's even more interesting is, well, not interesting, what in my brain solidified Chris's lack of knowledge in the criminal justice system, is he could have at any point asked for a lawyer.
Oh, that's right.
At any point, he could have asked for a lawyer, and he never did.
Mm. That's a
Never.
point for psychopathy, but
Okay.
it is. We'll get into it. Just think about
Well,
it.
that's part two.
I
No,
know.
I know. I get what you're saying now,
Oh yeah.
but
Part two, part two.
that's part two. So he never asked for a lawyer, which we'll get into, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Next one.
I forgot about that though. You're so right. That whole time that he's
Mhm.
doing the lie detector test and talking to authorities, he knows he has a right to an attorney because they have to tell him that, right? You have a right to remain silent, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
But he just kept talking to them and even did the lie detector test.
Yes, I have a theory, but we'll get into that in part two.
I know, I can't wait.
So he goes through all this stuff. He does the lie detector test, obviously bombs it because he's lying through his freaking butthole.
Oh, yes, he's lying.
And they bust him on it, right? They come in and they're like, bro,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
failed this epically.
You lied about your own name. We don't know why you took your
It's It's not Christopher. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know. All the control questions also lies. Everything's a lie.
Yes. So he failed epically. And he was like, I didn't lie. And they were like, we're done with whatever BS you're giving us. We need the truth. And so then they start to create some narratives, which I've done this and it worked
It
with
works.
guys.
I've
You
seen you
guys.
in action, dude. It was impressive.
I was like, I'm pulling a Tammy right now.
We did. And now we pull Tammy's regularly.
I know. So
Yeah.
Tammy creates this other story that quote unquote could have happened. Obviously, she knows in her beautiful brain that that didn't happen, but she's like, we got to get somewhere with
We
this.
got to move the ball forward.
So she creates this narrative of, did Shanann hurt the girls? And then you got so mad at Shanann that you then hurt her. So
Mhm.
she goes down that route. So he actually, with some, force, went with that.
Yeah.
Right? He goes, you know what? Yes,
He's like,
she
that
hurt the
sounds better
girls.
than my story. I'll go with that.
Sounds way better than the truth.
Way better.
So he says he goes with that and basically says, yes, Shanann hurt the girls. And then I hurt Shanann because I was angry and sad and whatever, whatever, whatever. Okay. So then they are like, okay, yeah, great, perfect. So we have that confession, but that's not what really happened. So then they push even further for the truth. And this took a little bit of time. In the meantime, Chris also saw his dad at a certain point, told him I failed the lie detector, which I think was him just trying to be like, I did the thing to his dad, but didn't want to actually say he did the thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, his dad, I thought was very sweet to him
Hmm.
through the whole thing.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I do believe that they wanted to believe that Shanann had something to do with all this, but I think at the bottom of their hearts, they knew that she didn't. You know?
Well, I mean, no one wants to believe that their son just
Did I?
up and murdered his family,
Right.
you know?
So, yep. So yeah, so Chris essentially, long story long, gets nailed for everything he did, for killing Shanann and the girls.
Hmm.
He then goes a little into, well, he goes into where their bodies are.
Hmm.
Okay. So he shows the very shallow grave
Hmm.
on, I believe they were using like a drone camera.
Hmm.
The very shallow grave that Shanann was buried in with the sheet that was left there. I was like, Chris,
I know.
you leave a sheet at your work site where you shallowly buried your wife. Like, what? And you didn't think, you thought you were going to get away with this.
Hmm.
Like, there was a part in your brain that thought, you know what? I'm never going to get caught. If I'm a good
It's the
enough
part
wife.
that went into the lie detector test. He was like, "Oh, I'm good."
Right. Well, and you know what's also interesting? And a lot of people don't know. We know this because we do work in forensics. Lie detectors are not admissible in court.
Right, they're not.
So that one, if he was smart enough to get a lawyer or an attorney,
Yes.
they would have been able to say that, sure, you failed, but
Right.
whatever, right?
Right.
But he's just not smart. So
Uh-uh.
so yeah, so he shows them where Shanann is. There's the sheet there, and then they go where are the girls, and he points at the oil tanks.
Mm.
Because that's insane. And they're like, they're in the tanks? And he's like, yeah, there's a small hatch at the top. And he put one girl in each tank because there's two tanks. Awful. Awful. I'm not going to share how he killed his daughters. You guys can look it up if you want to. I'm not going to share that because I can't even imagine. It makes me literally want to throw up. So I'm not going to talk about that part. But they did die before they went into the oil.
Mhm.
I will say that. The other piece of this that Janine had mentioned at the beginning is on their way to the oil fields, the girls are alive.
They're alive.
Shanann is not, and her body is wrapped in a sheet at the girl's feet. So she's not,
Trash bags over her head
yes.
and over her feet. And then
Yeah.
I think there was a sheet in there too, but
Yes.
yeah.
She was wrapped in a sheet and then trash bags.
Hmm.
And the girls were like, "Is mommy okay?" And he said, "She'll be fine." Like, what a
Hmm.
psycho. But I mean, yeah, the whole picture is really ugly. That's about as much as you guys need, I think.
Hmm.
That's what's in the media too.
And that
So
they
you're
had
getting what you get
literally
there.
had blankets and toys in the car for this drive to the oil field.
Yes.
And he had a
They
gallon.
had their favorite little one.
Yep. And he had the ones that he
Hmm.
said they're missing and they wouldn't go anywhere without their blankets.
Yep.
Those blankets, that's what he told law enforcement. And then
Yep.
also there was a gallon of gas, which I'm sure you're going to get into later, but there was a gallon of gas too that he had. Do you remember this part?
So his plan was to burn her.
No, his plan was,
Yeah, vaguely.
well, yes, but he also in the interview when he's in prison, which we will talk and dissect in part 2, but in that
Yeah. Sorry,
interview,
I was thinking the other one.
he talked about having a thought of ending himself and
Yeah. Yes.
by starting a
That's
fire
right.
or having an explosion of some type. And the investigators try to give him an out on some of the things that he was saying, and he doubles down on his statements.
Mm.
And one of the things he doubled down on was, "Well, I thought that might hurt more people. I didn't want to hurt anyone." And I'm like, "Okay." And he couldn't think of any other ways to kill himself
Right,
because he's not a weapons guy, so
right.
he couldn't think
Yes.
of any other way. And he just grabbed a gallon of gas and thought maybe he would, I forget what he said, end himself or end
Oh
it
my
with
God.
him or something like that. Yeah. So those are
Yeah,
important
that
details.
also sounds like the worst. Yes, we're gonna get all into that
He had
stuff in
no
part two
intention of
because
doing
we're dissecting. No, but we are gonna dissect some of these other interviews that we watched because
that.
one,
Yeah.
they're super long. Two, we go into a little bit more of Nicole.
Yes. Yes. The affair
That's
partner.
Yeah, so we'll get more into her in part two as well. Again, you guys, this is a two-parter.
Has to be.
Has to be. So this is the crime piece. Where we are going to leave you for this week is this is what happened, and the cops are, or law enforcement, the detectives are really zeroing in on what happened and creating more of an understanding. Again, as we know, he was having an affair, which is a lot of times why these situations end up happening,
Yeah.
right?
So review of
So
the risk factors, the things that are going on is we had a bankruptcy in 2015. We had an
financial,
affair pop up in 2018. We have a
relational
wife who's wearing the pants quite a bit. We have um
control.
what?
I'm just naming the dynamics as you're saying them. So
Oh yeah,
financial,
control. Yep,
relational,
financial, relational.
control.
Yep, control. We have really kind of a breaking point that happens where an affair comes up and we have this affair partner now in the mix,
Yep.
heavy,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
she's pregnant, which is another risk
Yeah.
factor with the third baby
Yeah.
who he's not real happy about. He's not happy that she's pregnant.
Well, no, because he's having an affair, and you're right. He was very shocked with the third because I think he was done in
He
his
was
brain with
done and thought it
kids.
would take longer to get pregnant. I think he tried with her to appease
Yeah.
her, but I don't think he thought she'd get pregnant quickly.
Correct. And the other sticky part of this is that he's always wanted a son and it was a son.
Yes.
So that's the other weird part. So like I don't think he necessarily wanted a third kid, but he did want a son, and that's what she was pregnant with a boy.
Yes.
Nico.
Yeah.
His name was gonna be Nico. So, my friends, we've got a lot going on. And like Janine said, there's a lot of risk factors. And what's really interesting is domestic violence and lethality of domestic violence skyrockets when the partner's pregnant. So,
Yes, and we'll get into also the profile of
yep,
the family annihilator and how he fits and does not fit that profile.
yep.
So be sure to join us for part 2. Nat, thank you so much for bringing the case to us. It's a tough one, especially when you have a little daughter of your own.
Oh
This is not an
my
easy one to
gosh.
work on.
No, and
But
you
this is
those
a
little girls are so cute.
no, but this is a really, really, really important case
Mm-hmm.
in terms of risk factors and the kinds of things that we are looking into all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
we hope we can shed some light on this one for you guys in part two.
Yes. Stay tuned, guys. It gets juicier.
It does. And we will see y'all next week, as always.
Bye, forensic friends.
I'm Janine.
And I'm Nat.
And as always, thanks for listening and join us next week for more crime, psychology, and heart.